And then she nods, and she says, you hear her say, all right, get back to work. And they go off to do something. And so this tiefling woman approaches you, and she says,
Lisa's like, MILF. Not out loud, just to herself.
She holds out her hand, and she says, so the boys tell me your name's Lise.
She takes it with like the two hands. And she's like so nice. She's like, yes, I'm Lise. Hello.
She says, right, I'm Ramhorns. By the way, just quick tip for you, just between you and me, you might not want to use your real name around here.
Oh, okay. Made up names. All right, I can do that. My name is... She starts heavy breathing. My name is... she just looks around. My name is... It's
You're just getting all sweaty and like the whole time she's like raising an eyebrow, like you don't have to come up with one right now.
Is Moon Lily.
Oh, okay. Maybe workshop it. You want something that sounds a little tougher than that.
Tougher? I can do tougher. My name.
She holds up her other hand. She said, "Okay, stop. You're just think about it. Downtime." Says, yeah, just a lot of people in this line of work don't exactly have. And she kind of like thinks searches for the right word. She says, they have colorful backgrounds. All right, we'll say that.
Okay.
Not all of us are on the right side of the law. If you catch my drift.
I completely understand. I myself am not on the right side of the law on all of the time.
You're still holding her hand, by the way.
Yeah,
she's still
shaking.
Her eyes are like looking at your hand and looking back at you and looking at your hand. She's like, can I,
Oh, yes, of course! Her voice just goes up an octave.
She puts her hand on the back of her head like, yeah. And she says, okay, so, Captain told me I gotta check you out, make sure.
Check me out!
She puts a hand on your shoulder and she's like, okay, breathe. Nothing like that. She says, just want to give you fair warning. I'm gonna probe your mind a little bit, make sure you're not telling any lies. Don't worry, not gonna probe too deep.
Do what?
I just want to know if you're lying or telling the truth.
Of course, absolutely. I have a mental illness.
She's like, well, you didn't have to. Okay, anyway. And she says, okay, so you might notice a presence in your mind. It's totally normal.
Okay.
And she casts detect thoughts on you.
Immediately, Lisa's like, don't think about buff women. Don't think about buff women.
Go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw. Okay, so you are like projecting "don't think about buff women" in bold text, like at the forefront of your mind. It's all that's there right now. And Ramhorn speaks up and she says, buff women. Okay, anyway.
Lisa's just sitting there like smiling really big and like sweating.
Does it help to know that Ramhorns is 6 foot tall without her boots?
So tall. So big.
With her boots, she's a little taller than that.
Buff. Such a buff.
So she speaks up and she says, okay, you're not looking to, steal the boat or anything?
I I've never been on a boat. I wouldn't even know how. I couldn't even imagine. I would never dream of stealing a boat from you.
She chuckles and says, "All right, you're not going to willingly bring harm to anyone on the ship."
I would never bring harm. Never harm. Ship.
All right, and you are looking to go to no man's land.
This sounds very scary, but yes, no man's land.
And okay, and she it's like, well, you don't seem like you want to do anything bad. Not immediately.
Do you have a girlfriend? I mean, do you?
She kind of like.
I mean, do you?
She's.
How long?
You thought that she was the most red woman you've ever seen in your life. She somehow gets more red in the face. Like she's glowing red at this point.
How old is this woman? How old does this woman look?
She's like, mid-20s, late 20s,
Okay.
somewhere around there.
Okay, I wanted to make sure she wasn't like, like,
10 or 40.
No, yeah, like way older than me, but yeah. Or
yeah,
a
no.
child, yeah, that too.
She's a bit older than Lise for sure.
Okay.
But not like insanely older. She says,
Never
Okay.
disregard that. I have a mental illness. Anyway, no man's land.
She then speaks up. She says, "All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I always hate when the captain makes me, check people out like this. So, I guess in general, I'll just ask one last question. You're not gonna like blatantly lie to me about anything, are you?"
Never. I could never. I would never lie.
And so as you say that, she kind of removes the spell, and you kind of feel her presence exit your mind.
Ooh.
And she says, "All right, from one girl to another, what happened to Quinn?"
Oh.
They didn't mention where he is. I'm noticing he's not
Oh.
here.
Was
They
he
said
your
you're taking his
friend?
place.
Yeah. Was he like your friend? Or
She says, "Yeah, I mean, I'm the one that, recommended this ship to him. Is he staying here for a while, or?"
I'm so sorry. Some really, really awful things. She like kind of comes out of her like gay fucking days because this is like serious. She's like, a lot of really horrible things have happened to me in the last couple of days. And Quinn was very nice and
You see concern start spreading across her face. She's like, Quinn's all right? He's just staying here for a little while, right? Or oh, don't tell me.
some very mean people killed
Was it the Inquisition?
him. Yeah, those bitches. They they beat the shit out of me. And
She
then-
kind of looks you over and sees like I guess I imagine some bruises were kind of left when they like.
yeah, I feel like that man was very big. And there's I feel like there's like bruising around like where he was probably holding her. It's like they were very mean and they super killed him. And I tried really hard to save him, but I don't know anything about healing. And it was in the middle of the forest, and there was nobody else around, and I was all by myself, and I don't know how to heal. And I ripped up a new shirt that I had just bought to try and stop the bleeding, but he just kept bleeding and wouldn't stop bleeding, and then he bled a lot and forever, and then he died, and I tried to be very nice, and I stayed behind to bury him, and then they came back and they hurt me, and they took what he came here for, and now I have to go get it back,
You're like stammering and trying
just
to
having
your words.
just fully having a panic attack.
And Ramhorns is like, she takes a step back and
I'm so sorry. I tried to save him.
says, that can't be right. Come, Quinn. I mean, nothing can stop him. He.
Yeah, I didn't even really see what happened. He was talking with do you know a man named Varric?
Go ahead and actually no, you don't need this. She says, no, is he the one that did it?
Yeah, he's with those bitches, the New Dawn Inquisition. They were hurting my friend, and he went up and was talking to them. And Varric, the leader, this elf, very evil, scary, smelled really bad elf, came, and they were whispering to each other. I was too far away. I couldn't hear what was being said. But then Varric left, and Quinn was sort of just standing there, and I walked up to him, and he was just covered in blood and had a really big stab wound, which I tried to remedy, but again, not to heal.
Says, did he, I don't know, at least go out heroically, like?
Yeah, oh, absolutely, yeah. He saved my friends, and he tricked them in the last second. I thought he had given them what he came here for, but he tricked them. He gave them an empty box, and he gave me the real one, and he told me to run, and I should have listened. But he was so nice to me when so many people had been very mean very recently before that. And I was mean to him a little bit, and I felt bad. And I felt really, really, really bad that I couldn't save him. So I stayed behind to bury him. And they showed up and they stole what he died protecting.
You see, this entire time you've been talking, she's like been swallowing a lot and like trying to keep her composure. And she says, she like kind of like looks over her shoulder. She says, "All right, you mind if we, take this down to the crew's quarters or something?" Like,
sure. Anywhere.
And she kind of gestures over to the door. Back here toward the back of the ship, and she says, "Go ahead. I'll be right behind you."
Okay.
All right. Yeah, she's not even watching you as you go to the door. She actually turns to face the crew, and she calls out, "Morris, you got the deck for a bit. I swear to God, if it delves into chaos up here, I'll barbecue your fucking ass so hard." And
Lisa's like sad, but also like, that's hot.
And she follows you down in the crew's quarters. Where's Foxblood in all this, by the way?
I've just been clutching him to my chest.
She gestures to Foxblood and he says, "Your friend there got a name?"
Yeah, and I just hold him like a little hot dog. I'm like, this is Foxblood, my emotional support and my best friend, and the only light in this whole world.
She's kind of hunched down, like elbows on her knees, and she says, "He's cute."
He's so cute. He's
What is
honestly the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. He's honestly the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
By the way,
just in case.
Ramhorns just asks, like, what is he? He doesn't look like a normal fox.
No, he's Fae.
I don't think foxes come in blue.
No, yeah, he's like kind of sparkly too. Like, no, yeah, he's super Fae. He's Fae. I don't know exactly what he's called. He's a Fey Fox? I don't know, really.
As you're saying that, like, Foxbud is looking at you, like, cocking his head to the side, like he doesn't know.
Yeah! I, like, scratch the top of his head. I'm like, yeah, you're Fey, aren't you, bud?
Ramhorns pulls out a flask and looks around and grabs a mug from next to Quinn's cot and pours some of what's in the flask in the mug and, like, offers it over to you.
No, I'll take it.
Partake or...
Oh, what is it? What is this?
It's a dwarven vodka. It's from straight from Gorend. So this stuff will strip paint clean off a wall.
Oh God. I mean, yeah,
Lisa's trying to be tough.
I know my liquor. I certainly have not only ever had elven wine. She takes it and, like, kind of smells it and, like, tries to drink it.
You don't have
no,
to.
she's already fucking, like, trying to drink it.
So this stuff goes into your mouth and it's so strong and burns so hard you start coughing and okay, so you manage to angle your head down just enough that you don't spit it out all over Ramhorns.
Her eyes are like watering.
Yeah, you have tears streaming down your face. And Ramhorn starts laughing. She's like, I remember my first time with dwarven vodka. That shit'll knock you on your ass.
Yeah, she like spits a little bit of it back and sets it down. It's like, I think it stripped some of the me off of my insides.
And Ramhorns takes her flask and, like, tosses it back and just takes a huge swig.
But before we meet up with the Dreadnought, I would like to have a moment, if I could, with Cassandra.
All right. You pull Cassandra aside.
I want to take her to the front of the ship.
Okay.
And like I said, I feel like it's pretty early because of how I've been sleeping. So I want it to be like the sun is like just starting to peek over the horizon, so the sky is kind of like that really pretty, like, pink and orange. And we're on the ocean, so it's very...
You're above the ocean, but yeah.
Oh yeah, we're in the sky. Wait, that's so much cooler. I forgot to. Okay, remind me after this. You have to tell me how my ship can fly. I completely just glossed over that information. Because I still haven't talked to the Tempest about any of that. Or she probably has, but I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, I think I want to take Cassandra to the front of the ship. And I feel like it's really quiet up here in the clouds. But I think that, damn, you got a great view of, like, the ocean and the sky. How high up are we?
So the Shifting Tempest, the maximum height that it's able to fly at is 8,000 feet. Much higher than that, the air becomes too thin.
Yeah, so it's cold up here. We're probably wearing, like, our cloaks and whatnot. Okay. So yeah, I think that she takes Cassandra to the front of the ship and she says, "Hey, do you got a minute?"
She says, yeah. We're just waiting to meet up with the Dreadnought, yeah?
Yeah. But, before that, there was, it's just something that I wanted to talk about. Lisa's like really nervous. I
think as you say all that, that makes Cassandra very nervous and her eyes get very, very wide.
Lisa's doing all of her nervous tics. She's like, she's like chewing on her lips, and she's like fucking fidgeting with like her nails, and like like tugging on like her clothes and like just being
All
like
of
all of the nervous tics.
All of this is making Cassandra significantly more nervous.
I think that she doesn't even look at her for a minute. She's like, I think she kind of is trying to take a minute to calm down. And she looks out towards the sunset. Or not the sunset, the sunrise.
Sunrise.
The sunrise. Something with the sun.
Better than a sunset.
And she says, I have I want there's something that I would like to ask you. And you're not going to like it, but it's something that I need you to promise me.
And dude, she's sweating bullets now. You can practically hear her heart racing out of her chest, with her eyes wide. She like your nervousness has made her significantly more nervous. She's terrified of what you're about to say, and she says, "Okay."
She says, we've been through a lot together, and you know, I've been thinking about this a lot, especially over the last 2 weeks. And I need you to promise me. And she like fully like turns to face her and she says, I need you to promise that if something happens to me and I can't be here anymore, I need you to promise me that you will live. I need you to promise that you will run and you will go and live your life.
Cassandra, like after you say that, like her eyes become a little less wide, and she goes, "Oh my god, I thought you were gonna break up with me."
Oh. What? Break up, Cassandra!
And Cassandra says, and she grabs your hands in her hands and looks you in the eye, and she says, "Lise, if something were to happen to you, I'm gonna fucking raise hell to bring you back. Are you kidding me? I'm going through every last plane of the divine planes to hunt your ass down, and then I'm gonna kill you for dying."
No, that's not what you're supposed to say, Cassandra. You're supposed to promise me that you're going to live a happy life.
She says, "Sorry, babe, but as long as you're dating me, you're stuck with me."
And then she's just glaring at her. There's like tears forming in her eyes. She's like trying to be angry, but she can't be mad.
And she says, "Are you kidding me? After everything we've been through, if I can't raise a little divine hell to bring you back, what good am I?" And she kisses you.
Okay, all right. Damn, you're so gay.
And then she like pushes your hands back down again, and she says, "But you're not allowed to die. Let me be clear about that."
Well, I'm not planning on it. I just, with everything that's been going on, it's just been really heavy on my mind. What would happen to you if I died? And and she takes like a really big deep breath, and her hands are like shaking a little bit. Her palms are real sweaty. And she says, I have something else to say. also. While we're here. And I have kind of a lot to say, so I need you to just hold all of your everything until I am finished, okay? Can you do that?
She is, you see that nervous look on her face again, and she says, okay.
She says, okay. Cassandra. And you see that she's like actively trying not to start crying. She says, I think she takes her hands and she says, she's kind of like rubbing her thumbs like absent-mindedly over her hands. She says, before I met you, I never wanted anything. I was unhappy, yes, but I was content in it. I would have rotted away in Tielenrune without ever having left it, miserable and complacent. And then I met you, and my whole life turned upside down, but you were there with me through all of it. And God, you met a young, stupid, spoiled noble girl going through a goddamn life crisis, and you stood by her when you didn't have to. You stood by her when your captain died, when your ship was wrecked, when she told you there was a man in her head that only she could see and talk to.
You hear in the distance, hey!
And you see she she starts blushing, and she says, you stood by her when she was drunk and kissed you in a bar because she kind of just shrugs really big and says she'd never known love or freedom, and she was scared, but you held her hand and told her it would be all right, and she believed you. Not because they were pretty words from a pretty girl, but because you believed them. You meant them. And I think it was then that I first realized that for the first time, I wanted love and freedom and friendship. I wanted a life. I wanted to live. And throughout our journey, you have stayed by my side, and as you've continued to do so, I've realized that I want those things for you. I want you to live your life how you want. I want you to have those things because you deserve them. There is no one else like you, Cassandra. There will never be anyone else.
You're a little bit muffled right now.
There will never be anyone else for me. Not like you. I want you to be happy and live how you want. Because I think all this time, all I've ever wanted was you. And she takes the rings out of her pocket. And she kind of just like holds them up to her, and she kind of looks down, like kind of scared to meet Cassandra's gaze. And she says, it doesn't have to be a wedding. It doesn't have to be anything at all if that's what you want. I can't imagine my life without you in it. And I don't want to. And she's just kind of trying not to cry.
You hold this ring out, and it's like the most picturesque scene you can imagine. You two are both standing near the bow, with the sun just now creeping over the horizon, and in true Chaos Crusaders fashion, the sky fissure just above that, looming a sense of doom upon this otherwise beautiful scene. And Cassandra has gone from like eyes wide to like her eyes are bulging out of her head. Um, and like I think she tries to say something at first, but like she's a little too choked up and like words fail her. And then she says, yes, 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 yes. And I think stutters over that a few times. Before she composes herself, she literally does the like hand thing. And she takes your hands in her hands, the hands that are holding this ring. And she says, Lise, from the moment I've met eyes with you, I couldn't so from the moment I met you, I couldn't take my eyes off you. And my life has not known peace since, and I mean that in the nicest possible way. Before I met you, my life was about survival. I was making ends meet. I was working any job I could get my hands on, and I was drifting from place to place, just trying to make a place for myself in this world. And since I've known you, I've known the greatest happiness, the greatest fear, the greatest excitement, and the greatest angers. I feel like my life has become so much more vivid and magical since I met you. And it's hard to really put it all into words, but I've never been happier. And I feel the same way.
She's like fully crying. Like, trying to play it off like she's not. So like she's like and there's like tears.
I think she does that thing where she puts the palm of her hand on your cheek and wipes away the tear with her thumb.
Yeah, kiss her.
You two kiss in this picturesque scene. And do you have an... Okay.
I put the ring on her finger.
You put the ring on her finger, and she holds out her hand for you to present her with yours. And she slides the finger onto your or the ring onto your finger. And she kisses you again, and she says, "But to be clear, we are gonna have a kick-ass wedding."
She's like, "Oh yeah, for sure, yeah." I haven't thought of any kind of like I haven't thought of how or where or when, but somewhere and somehow and sometime.
And she pulls you forward and hugs you with tears in her eyes.
Yeah, I think they just kind of stay in this moment until they get to the Dreadnought.
I think that could be sort of a we kind of fade out that scene.